Oneyplays! With friends.
Just do it here!
I'm not into it, but okay.
Then why are we doing it?
What a weird thing to say.
Yeah, I don't want to fight, but
He just had a really weird night with his girlfriend.
that means he also ran up to me to tell me that. Thank you.
Oh, that's true, yeah, he approached you.
It's like the girl who goes up to you and then says, "Did you just touch me? Why did you run up to me then?"
In Pokemon Gold and Silver, I remember when I was talking to my friend when I was like 11 or something, or 12. He
said,
it was
"What's a lass?"
It was probably earlier than that. No, he was like, in Pokemon Gold and Silver, you can get phone calls and you can have fights with people who call you up. Was that true?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing in it.
Was it good?
It's actually a thing that I really like about it, yeah.
They do it because you can get money back from people by
plus you
fighting
can
them
keep
over and over.
grinding. In this game, you can run out of people to fight.
And you can run out of situations to, keep getting things, so...
That's pretty cool.
It was a good idea, I like it a lot. They also call you sometimes that there's, like, groups of Pokemon appearing in the wild.
Wait, really?
They have special ones that'll sometimes appear in, like, big swarms.
Wow.
It was a really cool idea, especially for a Game Boy Color game.
So
it made it feel really alive.
Would you say Gold and Silver are the definitive Pokemon game?
I would say so, yeah. It added a whole lot, and
I remember I had Heart Gold, and I did not like it.
it's because it slows it down a lot more and adds a lot of dialogue
It's because,
onto it.
I mean, it's also incorporating all the design changes and like system stuff that they added to the series.
You know, because I like the simplicity of this one, but like it's not that fleshed out. I feel like Gold and Silver probably fleshed it out a ton.
It did.
Yeah.
Personally, I really like, for me, the highlight of the series was probably Ruby and Sapphire.
I remember I
really
had
liked that
one of those. That's the one where you start with the running shoes, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't get very far. That's when I started not liking the aesthetic, and I just didn't try.
That's
like
fair.
Ruby
It
and
definitely.
Sapphire.
I even though I like the Pokemon in that generation, it's definitely like a design change. Like it's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like the same.
That's when the art
aesthetic
style
as
was
the
slowly
first two.
beginning to change and everything too. But oh my god, I am so stupid about this.
Sure, I'll play in you.
In me?
Sticks head inside of you. Looks around. Wow, this place stinks.
That's a good ROM hack, Chris.
If they had a little cutscene
They
of her
had
doing
little
it.
asterisks that says "Stick's head inside of you." She has a rat. He's a radical rat. and
I
he's
would love
dead
to
too.
find. I wonder, is there any psycho out there who made a ROM hack and just made it all like that?
There's stuff like that. I remember there's a lot of ROM sites. Well, they will like include ROM hacks with the original ROM file sometimes too.
Yeah.
And there's a version of Mortal Kombat Trilogy that was beat me when I say it because you're probably not going to get ads if I said the name, but it was Mortal Kombat Edition.
Oh.
And the opening of the game says like, the evil boob master makes poop on all the stupid people, and they just swapped all the words, so one of the characters' names is just whore.
Oh my
It's stuff like that. Like, it's the laziest ROM hack I've ever seen, but the ROM file for Mortal Kombat Trilogy just comes with that included, so if you want to be entertained, I guess you have
just
that.
reminded me of something.
Yeah, go ahead.
In school, we used to have textbooks like for like, I don't know, math, English, and Irish. And in the English one specifically, there was short stories that were like made
tell
up
in the dark.
No, they were like made up or printed off
wish.
the internet by the teacher. Like he would write stories for The Simpsons and shit.
What?
Where it'd be like
Or did you just mean like test questions?
no, like not even. It was like he wrote out his own little Simpsons stories. Now that I think about it, like
not like
I don't know why
Homer
he did
has
it.
3 donuts and Lenny takes 2.
No, it wasn't like that. It was literally a short story that we were supposed to study. It was like Homer and Marge and Maggie are all in the living room.
Like it
Santa's
was like a
little helper.
memory thing. Like, oh, did you remember how many fingers she held
No,
up?
that's
Like-
what it was. A grammar test. That's what it was. We were supposed to find grammar mistakes.
Okay.
But we used to fucking just be idiots and just cross out words and just replace them. So it'd be like, Homer fucked Maggie. Homer threw Maggie into the fire.
Is that how you?
Into the
Is that how you
fire.
came up with the Sixons?
No, it's not. It's just literally something that we used to do with everything. We would cross out words in our English books and replace verbs and words so that they were just disgusting porn. And one time the teacher found it and he got really fucking mad and he kicked my friend out of the classroom even though I was the one who did it.
Aw.
And I felt bad, but I didn't feel bad enough. You know what? I was an asshole, okay? I was a teenager.
It's okay. Anyways,
Hey, he did shitty things to me too. I don't care. Be nice.
Be nice. I feel like that's
it's
good
okay,
advice.
Chris. We're escaping this region now. Except I chose teleport by accident. Ah!
I don't know if I ever told the story of my friend Sean Kiley when we were he was a new student in my school at the time. This was his first year of like in my school. And he came in and like in the middle of high school essentially. So we were like 16 meeting each other. But he came in and we were doing we were doing transition year, which means it's a year off and you don't really have to do much except come into school and just like just chill. Like it was just a year off, but you still have to go to school and do bullshit. But we had art class, and we were all given big wooden boards to lean on for the paper and shit. And he just drew this massive, veiny, hairy cock on it with a huge permanent marker. It was like super thick outlines. There's no way he'd be able to like cross it out or like rub it out or anything. He just drew this fucking gigantic cock on it, and everyone was laughing at it because it was so funny looking.
That would be funny, especially in permanent marker.
But I don't know what he was expecting because we all left the class. He flipped the board over so the teacher wouldn't see, right? Until it was too late. But then we were all in
Were you there when the teacher saw?
No.
Okay.
No, we were all in our like hub classroom where we have to go and sit and eat lunch or whatever.
Sure.
And the big, tall, scary teacher walked in who taught Irish, and he was pretty much the disciplinary teacher because he was like old and scary.
Yeah.
And he walked in and he was like, "So we have a bunch of artists here, do we?" And we were just like, "Yes, sir." He's like, "So I'm going to be I'm gonna be calling."
You thought he was complimenting you?
No, yeah, exactly. He's like, "I'm gonna be calling you all out individually, and we're going to be lining you up outside, and I'm going to ask you one by one who did it, and you know what it is." And we're just like, "Oh fuck." So like every single person was getting lined up, and the first person he picked was Sean. So Sean just went in and like instantly caved. He was like, "Yeah, I did it. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry." He got sent home and he got a disciplinary, and he literally had to tell his mom and dad in school what he did.
Golly.
They brought his mom and dad in. And they were just like, "Go on, Sean, tell him." It's like, I drew this big, massive penis on the board.
Did he draw it well, or was it like
It was funny.
average, like just kind of like, oh, they don't know how to draw a
It was a big,
dick?
nasty cock. Like it was not pleasant, but it was really funny because Sean's like art looks funny. It's just silly.
Yeah.
So it looked like a big deformed cock, but it was great.
I wish I had
That's a
fun
good story.
school stories because everything in like our school system when I was younger was just a mess.
No, my school experience was mostly terrible. I've never been so miserable in my whole life as waking up for school. I hated it.
I've been recently like thinking back to a lot of it and how I'm kind of surprised by it. For example, they had keyloggers on the computers. That was their security system that they used at our high school.
That's
they
not
were
good.
keylogging
No, it's not.
everyone, and it was automatically taking screenshots. I found out about it because it was in the C drive, and you could access it through the browser.
Wow.
And they were taking screenshots of everyone's computer for like every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It was tracking every keystroke you made, and they were just monitoring kids like actively, which obviously that
And then
part's
that
normal.
system got taken advantage of.
Yeah, that's what happened is that a bunch of kids found out about it and they started going in and messing with kids' like email accounts and everything.
Ooh.
And the fact that they had a keylogger running already, like,
Yeah,
that's
that's-
probably why
that's
they
illegal.
suspended the
That
kids.
is illegal, yeah.
Because, yeah, that's not a legal thing to do, but they did it anyways. We had lots of stuff like that always happening at our school. Like, it just didn't function.
Letting kids have access to computers in school is kind of a bad idea.
Well, that too.
Kids are smart. Kids figure out code and
Yes,
shit real
probably
quick.
smarter than you.
Yeah.
So you
I
can't...
mean, certainly during that time. 'cause
Yes, because
I
technology...
I feel like things might have changed since then. I think people are more computer literate in general, but like when I think our generation was growing up, you kind of assumed that adults didn't know how to use computers, yeah? Would you say that?
Yeah.
Maybe that was just my experience.
No, that's exactly what it was like. There was that window where no one really knew how to do anything with technology. But yeah, that was a thing that happened, and I didn't think about it when I was a kid because it was just like, oh god, oh that's awful, I don't want to get in trouble because I know about this or anything. But now that I think about it, it's like, okay, the reason anyone probably got in trouble is because, yeah, they wanted to cover that up. They didn't want that to get out there that, yes, they were monitoring what kids were like emailing. They were able to get their direct information off of that if they wanted to and could get onto their accounts for things. Like, that's horrible that they had that system running. I couldn't believe it.
Now, was this the normal school or was this that other school?
No, this was a normal high school. This was just a public high school, and it's in like a rich community and everything too. So it was pretty crazy that they were doing that to the students there. Shocker, she said.
Our school had a thing called the language lab, which was just a room full of computers that we learned French in. And I was the guy who showed everyone how to use Microsoft Sam and make him say shit. But then this one guy sitting next to me wouldn't stop doing it. He kept making him say really dirty shit. And then the teacher got mad. She threw her language lab at me.
Chris, did you have computer lab technicians ever mess with you?
No.
Because I remember at one point...
Oh, I miss my computer teacher. Wait, go on.
When I was in class one time, a kid was showing me something in the browser as I was writing a paper, and all of a sudden I get logged out, and I thought like he hit a hotkey or something.
Yeah.
So I'm typing my paper, and all of a sudden they hit Control-A to like select everything, they delete it, and they save the file and close it and log me out again.
Wow.
And they ended up like typing into the login screen a message at me, and I remember typing back like, I'm writing a paper in class right now, knock it the hell off. And I actually got called into the principal for that because the guy was so furious about it. But it's like, what the fuck? Like, you went and you're gonna delete...
Wait, you mean staff was doing that?
Yes.
And you got in trouble?
I got in trouble for it.
That's retarded.
Stuff like that was always happening. It's why, like, I don't have fun school stories. It was just really suspicious behavior like that. And just kids kind of getting in trouble because they were figuring out how much of a mess the school system was.
I gotta say, getting unfairly in trouble in school is... Nothing will make you hate the system more.
It's true.
Like, there was points when I had teachers who would discipline me, and I knew I fucked up, and I'd be like, you know what,
Yeah, but then you take it on the chin because you did it.
Yeah, I screwed up, I'm sorry. But then there's other times... Like that's what happened with the computer, with my computer teacher. Like one time I was fucking around, she gave me detention or whatever, and I was like, fucking shit, it's not fair. But then later on, I'm like, I was being a cockhead. But then there was times where you would get in trouble for something like you didn't do, or someone else is sitting next to you, like talking to you, and you're like, can you stop? And then the teacher will like yell at you and give you detention, and it'll just make you hate them. Make you be like, you're fucking with my life and it's not my fault. Why are you doing that?
This is definitely not as serious of an example, but I remember in grade school they were teaching crocheting for our school. They didn't have like electives or anything, but you got the class was called handiwork or something like that. And so we were learning to crochet, and I accidentally said crochet, but like it wasn't on purpose because I was a little kid. I didn't swear back then. And the teacher was furious with me, and I still got in trouble for it. I couldn't convince her that I didn't do it.
Yeah. I had the same thing happen, and I got kept at school the entire day to the point that my mom even showed up and was saying, like, he's coming home with me. He's not staying here for this, because they thought they heard me say a swear in the hallway that I didn't say, and I didn't even know why I was in trouble. And they were trying to get me to, like, admit it the whole time, so I had no idea what was even going on. Yeah. And I think I was kept until, like, 4:30 or something. Like, it was a few hours after school had ended, until finally, like, I just got pulled out of there. But that's why I wish I had fun stories. This is the stuff that always happened. We had, in middle school, there was a kid who smeared his shit across all the lockers one day, and then pulled a fire alarm. Because he was about to get in trouble. The whole school got called together in like the auditorium about it.
Oh, you told me that before.
Yeah, and then he pulled the fire alarm, so everyone just left. But stuff like that was always happening. Like, everybody there, it just felt like it was just constant chaos.
I had a guy in my school who pissed his pants just because someone told him to. They're like, you should piss yourself. And he was like, okay, and he did it.
Well, he's a real funny guy.
He was also the same guy who wrote his name on the toilet with shit.
I mean, kids would do dumb stuff like that, too.
Yeah.
Just because it's like, yeah, it's funny.
Well, this music to that visual is hilarious.
What, him smearing his shit around with really upbeat music?
And then that is the shit falling back in the toilet.
That's the teacher catching him and he's running away.
And that's teacher grabbing him by the neck.
That's them screaming at him.
Punching him on the head. And now the teacher wins.
The child's been knocked out.
No, he's back.
What was the most trouble someone at your school got in?
My friend, my best friend for the first 3 years, he used to get in trouble every day. He, like, I don't know, like, you know what? I also had 3 people in my class, all called Steven, and they were the worst in the class. They were the ones always getting in trouble. And one of them, he was the science teacher for my first year. He was so mean to one of those Stevens, and like, the Steven was actually like a nice guy, but he just got in trouble a lot. But the teacher was so brutally mean to him that one time he started shaking and his face turned like blood red, like really dark red, and the teacher was like making fun of him while this was happening. And then I think Steven said something along the lines of, "I hope your house burns to the ground," or something like that. And I shit you not, that year his house burned to the ground.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I wonder if he did it.
No, he didn't do it. It was because the teacher was an alcoholic.
Oh.
And he just like fell asleep with the oven on or something.
There is justice sometimes.
I remember a bunch of kids in class thought it was really funny to hold your breath until you passed out, so the one did it, and then when he collapsed, he cracked his head on the radiator and had to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
I don't know
like
why.
Literally cracked his head.
Yes, like it actually, his skull got cracked open and he ended up getting pulled out and got sent to the hospital. I don't know why you would do something like that. That's really, you deserve that in full if you're going to be tempting fate like that. You should not be trying to just pass out for no reason, just for fun.
There's a weird, like, sad truth that I'd say 10% of teachers really want to help kids, and the other 90% are just failures who are stuck in that job.
Probably.
We had a teacher in our 1 grade, and she actually got fired because she was intentionally avoiding working. She would tell everyone to go read books, and then she would just leave the room, and sometimes she didn't even come in.
Is that the same teacher where you were reminded of her because of the new Undertale thing?
What?
How you said that you had a teacher that was looking at porn in class?
That was different, but that one was pretty bad too.
Oh boy.
That one was pretty bad too. Lots of stuff. They lied to us that 9/11 didn't happen. I remember that was a thing. They told everybody for like 2 months straight that it wasn't real because they didn't want the kids to be upset.
That's kind of funny, but not really.
Jesus.
I have a serious appreciation for teachers who actually care.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, definitely.
Because when you have them, you really appreciate them,
Yeah, and
too.
you remember them for the rest of your life.
Yeah, because I can remember teachers who cared. I always really liked them. I was good friends with a lot of the like tech department.
Yeah, I had like 1 or 2 really good teachers that I really care about and were super kind, but the rest were just like washed up pieces of shit who seemingly liked to just be horrible to kids. It was just like, fuck you. But,
oh, are you gonna go with something?
I was gonna say, like, have you ever seen that video on YouTube of the guy? He's in like the classroom and he's like, "I'm so fucking sick of you handing out packets. You need to like touch these kids. You need to actually get on their level and like speak to them and teach them, not just fucking hand out packets." I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, "Wow, that really is relatable." That's just like what most teachers are. They just sit there and like just throw something at you and make you do it, and they don't care.
That's what they call busy work.
Yeah.
I remember this too. We had a technology course, and the idea was that we had to learn how to use Perl, which is like a command line thing that you have to do for networking, like if you want to get into a FTP, if you want to upload files and everything. And we were supposed to use that to...
Is that like Perforce?
I don't know how to really explain it in a way that would make too much sense, but it was a thing that we were supposed to learn just for the sake of uploading files to the school system. And we did not get taught how to actually do it. We got told that we had to do it, but he said nothing to us about it. It wasn't in the book or anything either. He just expected us to do it. And what ended up happening was that I ended up just finding that he had the file uploaded already, and I hate saying this. I'm sorry I'm admitting this, but it's what ended up happening.
Oh, you should be playing the game.
Yeah, I should be.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry I stopped for a second, but I ended up just taking his file and showing it to everybody so they could re-upload it, and I showed them how to use Perl because he wasn't teaching anybody how to do it. And it was really fucking frustrating having a teacher who wouldn't actually teach the class.
I had a business teacher who literally taught no one anything. He just sat up there.
It happens.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes they will just expect you to go through the book on your own and just sort of sit there and hand you tests.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
No, he came in on the first day in first year business, and he put a, like, profit and loss sheet in front of us. Just like, just do that. We're like, what? How? And he's like, figure it out. We're like, okay.
Thank you.
I literally never learned how to do it because I just drew on paper in his class, and he didn't even care. I wasted all that fucking time drawing on paper.
Me good.
Me bad.
Okay, let me do this really quick.
Welcome to the crushing center. We have lots of high heels. Bloop, bloop, bloop.
I probably should have read the text before I gave these to you!
Well, I guess they're all dead, but at least you're horny now, yes?
I had a situation kind of like that where we had in college a mature student who was like probably 60 years old trying to learn how to use like 3D Studio Max, which is not going to fucking happen.
No.
It's just not going to happen. I don't know why that person signed up for it. And but at the time I thought the old lady was nice, and the teacher was like, "Can you show her how to do something?" I'm like, "Sure." I just sat down trying to show her how to do it, and she started screaming at me and getting really mad. Be like, "You need to slow down! You need to slow down!" I'm just like, "Yeah, I'm doing what you want. I'm literally just doing whatever you want." And she got really mad. The teacher came over in the middle of this tiny little argument, and it wasn't even an argument at this point. And then he said, "Is everything okay?" And I said, "Yeah, everything's fine." And then she went, "No, he's not going fast enough." And then the teacher, or no, slow enough. And then the teacher started yelling at me, and I'm like, "You're the one who fucking asked me to show her this shit." And he's like, "You know what? Just fuck off." And I'm like, "Okay, wow, okay, I guess I'm done here." And I was so fucking angry, because it's like, why is this person in this class wasting everyone's time? She's bringing the class to a standstill because she's all like, "Oh, I'm having a midlife crisis and I want to do animation now and be artistic." No, you're not gonna learn 3D Studio Max. Fucking, I can barely learn and I'm good at this shit. Fucking bitch.